Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Around the Colosseum. It's your host, Johnny Aman, and your co-host, the sometimes nice, sometimes not so nice, Ref Danny Frost. Danny, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Johnny. How are you doing tonight?
Man, I've been up for going on 17 hours now. I'm ready for bed. But hey, we got this. We got to get it out for the fans because they deserve it.
Of course, we're a little late. We got things going on. It's called life. I was in Wisconsin. It was cold.
Did you bring back any cheese curds for me?
I don't eat cheese curds, so that's a no. Sorry to all the
You
fans.
don't have to eat the cheese curds to bring back the fat man the cheese curds.
Okay, so check it out. I was supposed to be home Tuesday, right? Training on Wednesday. None of that happened. The weather made it down here is what happened, and Dallas decided they didn't want any airplanes coming in. So I'm sitting at the airport about an hour or so before boarding starts. Phone notification goes off. Check my email. Your flight's been canceled. Well, okay. Well, I've seen it in the movies. I'm just going to put my bag right here. I got my little pillow. I'm going to lean up on this wall with my jacket, my earbuds while my phone's charging and just sleep. The airport closes after the last plane lands, which that could be 1:30 at night. It could be 8 o'clock at night, whenever it lands. So that wasn't going to happen. So I had to get another hotel. Stayed another night in Wisconsin. Wednesday comes along. A flight that was supposed to leave at 3:30 in the afternoon didn't leave till 6:45-ish. Yeah. Then we sat on the tarmac here for about 20-25 minutes waiting for a plane to move so we could go in. A long beginning of the week. And my wife had COVID while I was gone.
Yeah, I mean, airplane travel sucks. At least you made it home. So let's kick off talking about not the first match of the night, but what Drew Harris did. Because we got a clip that we're going to play after we talk about the bombshell announcement that Drew gave us.
Yeah. I was ringside for that and was not expecting any of it. What were your thoughts? I mean,
I was shocked. I mean, I knew Drew's been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. He's been all the lights he's put in, like he brings.
Right.
And for him to announce that he now owns 51% of the company and has controlling interests.
It's a lot of power.
Yeah. I mean, he exhibited that power by firing Kevin Sanchez as commissioner and reinstating his wrestler contract.
Yep. So he is now officially a full-time talent, I guess. Time will tell. It's going to be interesting because I'm sure after that last battle he went through, he thought he was done. Was he actually going to hang it up this time? And he was wrong.
I mean, he thought he was going to hang it up last June, and then he came back for December.
His career.
And there's no guarantee that he'll actually get booked. Just because you're on the roster doesn't mean you're going to get booked. Look at how WWE and AEW do talent all the time. They're on the roster, they sit in catering.
So many people that just go by wayside and probably everywhere, honestly. I wouldn't say just the big guys, but there's so many people that we know of that we don't see on those specific programs that we're like, hey, I don't see him anymore. I mean, perfect example of that was Ricky Saint now with NXT, which everybody knew that was going to happen, but it was just a time matter. So.
Yeah, right. And, I mean, there's Scorpio Sky. Orange Cassidy hasn't been on TV for a bit, which I'm glad about.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that one.
Roman Reigns goes on the shelf for extended periods of time.
Well, Roman Reigns right now, I feel like has hit that John Cena, Brock Lesnar level of scheduling. Like, I work when I want to work if it makes sense type situation. And then again, he may actually be hurt. Again, y'all has to remember he is a recovering leukemia patient, so there's no telling what's going on with that. I mean, there's so many factors in other people's lives that we don't get known on the big side. So if it ain't in EPW, I don't really know.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and play that clip that Drew sent in.
Just wanted to say thanks so much, Johnny, for giving me a chance to reach out to the fans here. And honestly, thank you for everything that you've done for Empire over the last year and a half that you've been around. Around the Colosseum is absolutely fantastic. It's such a great place for the fans to hear different things, the latest news and rumors that are going on within the company. As to a lot of them, I just want to say I'm Drew, or Andrew Harris, if we want to be more formal. We don't need to be by any means. And I'd really like to think Broken Dreams wasn't just another show. It was the night the Empire Pro changed forever. For 2.5 years, I sat back. I came into the small Empire shows in the VFW, we all remember. I helped set up chairs, did some lights, occasionally did a little commentary. It was absolutely fantastic, and it was neat to every month be reminded of the potential the Empire had to be something like the number one indie wrestling company, not just here in Oklahoma, but across the entire nation. I can't remember which show it was, but I was sitting there watching the action, and I just decided it's time to stop being satisfied wearing the headset and calling the matches. I think we could make history. So I did what no one really expected. Right there under the bright lights, I told Kevin Sanchez the truth. I said, I'm not here just to watch. I'm not here just to talk. I'm here to run this damn show. And with one stroke of a pen on the morning of February 15th, I made it official. I now own 51% of Empire Pro Wrestling. I'm not going to be a GM or a commissioner or the powers that be. There's this wild belief that I think that everybody in the indie feds feels that you need some sort of Vince or Eric or big management figure to shake things up, to be a huge part of the nightly routine, but that's definitely not who I am. I've been busy in business for my entire career, and that comes with making good decisions and being able to grow a brand, and that's what I love to do. It is 100% for the fans. I want to do things here at Empire that no one believed was possible, and it's mainly going to happen behind the scenes, working directly with the people that are going to make our production better and make the content better each and every month. The first thing that I did this last weekend was we let Kevin go from being in that commissioner role. You all have seen it just like I have. Kevin's still a fighter. He still occasionally wants to get involved with these matches. And if he's going to do that, he's going to do it while he's on the roster, not in a position of power. We don't need that back and forth. We need someone that's committed to going out there and giving you the best in-ring performance that they can. Can Kevin still go? Well, I don't know. We're going to find out. Now, how exciting is our champion, Damian Morte? The guy has been an absolute locker room leader and should make every fan incredibly proud that this guy has the strap. We are so fortunate to have someone like this representing EPW and going out every show to give it their absolute all. Now, talking about the future, the power of the people is the name of the game. We want to pack the house for every one of our monthly shows and provide an experience like no other. We're also upping our game on our streaming world, and honestly, it's getting stronger every time we come out. So you want to know something wild? We've got stars here, but we're also getting the attention of some faces that you're definitely going to recognize from, I don't want to say it, but national broadcast. I'm going to leave it at that. But Morte, Jack Talos, the others, they're all getting noticed. And some big names might be coming to Empire that are going to make some bold, bold, bold challenges. The goal is simple: to put Oklahoma back on the territory map, and that is what we are going to do. We've got the roster. We've got the behind-the-scenes people in place. We just need the help of the fans to spread the word and get this revolution moving.
now that we've heard from Drew, let's go ahead and jump into the first match. It was Ebone against Gallardo. A title for a title match.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen too many of those that I recall, at least. Especially since I've taken over. Uh, it was a good match, though. I enjoy Uno. I think he is a phenomenal talent. Uh, very athletic. I'm sure he wishes he had a little bit more room to move around, type situation.
Very much so. And I'm one of those that enjoys the faster pace, almost luchador-esque style guys. So Gallardo, he's one of my favorites that comes through.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little worried because at one point towards the end of the match, I just see red coming from like right across here, and I'm like,
Yeah, that's called
it
rope
looked like
burn.
his nipple was bleeding. Seriously.
It was close. It was definitely rope burn. I mean, people understand. Can think about it however you want. You hit those things at a certain amount of speed, you're gonna get red, especially if you hit them wrong. My back knows. Trust me.
Well, I mean, I did catch up with Gallardo after the match just to be like, whoa, hey, were you really bleeding from the nipple? Because it was just one of those things sticking in my head. Like, was he bleeding from there? And he did explain it was the rope, and he said it was close, but yeah, it was the
Just right there.
yeah.
And like I said, it was a good match. Not gonna say I was disappointed in the ending, but it's fortunate for Uno.
Yeah, I mean, the double DQ meant both men retained their titles because you can't change titles on a DQ.
Like I
Upsetting
said,
way to start the night, you know?
well, I mean, I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it a little bit. I've been itching to be able to catch him finally in the act, and sure enough, he got caught chain-handed. See what I did there?
I mean, yeah, that stuff is fun if you're the ref or you're wanting to see him caught. I,
He
on
got,
the other hand, wanted to see the crowning of a double champion. That's what I
yeah.
wanted.
Well, I mean, in that sense, you can blame E-Bone for cheating.
Or I can blame you for disqualifying him. You didn't have to disqualify him.
Hey, look, I asked the fans. I was like, did he hit him? Did he hit him? They told me the truth. And
Are
then
you
he
sure
tried.
they told you the truth?
Well, when the man is laying on the ground, the chain drops from you, and then you try to hit me with it. Oh, come on, you know me. I do know you. You have tried to cheat in every match. I got you. I got you.
But, I mean,
Under by DQ.
you did the right thing despite disappointing me, you know?
Well, it's not about disappointing you. It's about not disappointing the fans. Even though you are a fan, you work for Empire.
Yes, in my large Empire salary.
Salary?
Oh, wait, yeah. You have to get above ref level for a salary.
Oh, I
I know
know.
you're I know
I know.
you're still out hourly. That's why you're always refing every match.
Hourly. Just work here. They just tell me to go do something, and I go do it.
Oh, so you're a free intern, is what you're telling us.
I'm not a free intern, but well, I'm not an intern. Referee, get it right.
So
What was
the
it?
next match I have up is Jay Hazard
Uh,
and Dan, and they went to a time limit. That caught you off guard.
yeah, I got a cue for time. We all did, and the next thing I know, I mean, it looked like he was trying to bring it home, and I'm there. I mean, it's almost as close as it can get, and all I can do is just look up like what happened. I was a deer in the headlights, just like everyone. I
Yeah, I
can.
mean,
You looked at
it
me.
was down to the wire because I was sitting on the bell keeping that time, and
Said, you're the first person I looked at. I looked up directly at you. I was just like, what happened? And you gave me the cue, and I was like, okay, enough said. I can't do anything about it.
yeah, I mean, I would definitely like to see those two go at it again in the future with maybe no time limit or a longer time limit.
I I wish I if we can't get rid of the time limit, let's at least extend that 5 more minutes. Because I mean, uh, even though we know Jay was teasing with the 1 more minute, I would have loved to seen it because Dan was doing a damn fine job out there. Jay is Jay. He's a brute. He's gonna put you through a beating, plain and simple. But Dan was holding his own, and like you said, I would have liked to seen it continue. I'm not the biggest fan of time limits. It is what it is. I can't do anything about that myself. Uh, but all in all, it was a really good match. I enjoyed it. I like I said, I wish it would have continued.
And then after that, we had Gatekeeper versus Adrian Vega, and there was a slight mishap with that ring during that match.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Is force and mass not saying anything, but when you put a lot of pressure on something and you're strong, stuff breaks. And yeah, we did what we could to fix it, and we got it. It was a wild one, but kudos to Gatekeeper. That spear was massive. Those were two beefy men going at it, and I love Vega. I'm a huge Adrian fan. I've known the guy for quite some time here and there, so a lot of respect for him, especially for what he's done. And then, like I said, Gatekeeper is different, man. That dude's just built different. Like he is a monster in that ring, and people need to be aware of it. They
And
really
he came
do.
back with a different look also. Like,
I, yeah, it looked almost a little bit more. Oh, I'm trying to think of the word. I don't want to say sinister because he's already very sinister looking. Like he's already got the extreme, the dark aura, just the dark energy. Uh, yeah, I can't think of the word, but it's.
he's gone country. Look
Well,
at them
not,
boots, you know?
hey, I mean, not even just that. It's just his presence and his demeanor out there was way more direct than I've ever seen. Compared, and we'll talk about it a little bit more here later on, but compared to what we saw at the beginning or the middle of the show, compared to what we saw later on, it's two different entities per
Yeah, I
se.
mean, Gatekeeper had something to prove that night because he was announced and is a former EPW World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes, he is.
Whereas Adrian Vega is kind of a stalwart of Empire Pro Wrestling. He's been the All American Champion previously. He is constantly honing his craft.
Yep.
He goes to different seminars. He tries to improve himself. And when you face Vega, you have to up your game because he's not the same guy you faced the last time you faced him.
Never
Because
will.
he's did something, he's learned something, he's corrected issues.
He's
And
very good at adapting.
so for Gatekeeper to get that win over Vega, not only says something about Gatekeeper's desires and needing to prove himself
Yes,
after what happened back in November,
very much.
but it also gave Vega a good showing because Vega, again, just always improves.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. Like I said, both guys went out there to put in work. They did. I said, Gatekeeper can hit you anywhere with that spear. It's devastating. Like, it is not your middle of the run spear. I said, that's a strong man hitting you. People need to realize that people should put a little bit of fear behind him when in the ring with him. Don't. Yeah.
So I'm looking at my notes, and the next one I have is you had an Aubrey moment. I don't remember what it was, but I know you did something that reminded me of Aubrey Edwards, and I was like, no, Danny, no.
That's terrible. You know what? If it was me just lost for a second, it wouldn't surprise me. As much crap has already happened through the night, I needed a moment to find myself, probably, and I found myself.
I don't think you were lost. You just over-exaggerated something that didn't need to be over-exaggerated. And I'm looking at everything, and it's in just weird places for the notes. Because the note right above it is, I thought Jay had a good burn with saying, damn, his face looks like it's been up Badger's ass.
How did I miss that?
I don't know.
Wow, I missed that. I'll be completely honest with you. There's sometimes that I've got so much going on that I kind of lose track. There's been a couple moments in a match where I'm just like, I've fanned into it for a second and be like, crap, I'm a referee.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Like, I came back during the intermission time when they were fixing the ring and seen, like, Damien Morte in the birthday party kit with the birthday boy. I catch him giving Jay Hazard a pedigree, and then the little birthday boy pins Hazard.
Yeah, and I don't know what Morte. I had to prove a point to Morte, okay? Morte made a comment about me not knowing how to count to 3. And then he's going to try to count to 3 in front of me. It's not going to happen, Morte. That's why you got shoved out the way. I don't care if you're the champion. You got shoved out the way so the Kiki his first victory in the ring. After being told he'll never, ever win a pinfall in an Empire ring. How apropos. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, heck of a birthday for that little boy.
Man, he had a great night. Well, that kid. Did you see the action figure he got?
I seen 3 action figures floating around. Didn't he get the Kevin Nash one?
Got the Triple H one.
Oh, should have got the Kevin Nash one.
That would have been cool too. But that was a really cool moment for that kid. And I'm sure it's something he's going to remember for the rest of his life. Is his 9th birthday at Empire Pro Wrestling.
Most definitely.
I don't know how you could not.
And even if he forgets it later, it's on YouTube under our live section.
Exactly. You just got to go watch it anytime you want.
And that's I mean, if you're watching us on Patreon, you're doing good by subscribing to Patreon. If you're not watching it on Patreon, you know that you're at Empire Pro Wrestling on YouTube. So the next match kind of had me a little worried because of that bottom rope repair. It was 2 big men. Eddie Levon and Gideon Vane going at it.
I was not ready for that match. I was not aware of who Eddie was wrestling prior to. And then Gideon came out. And I knew that this was about to be a brawl. Like, it's hard to navigate 2 big dudes. It really is. Just for the fact that I'm not a big person. You get where I'm going with this.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Danny Frost is small.
I'm 135, 8, 9 pounds. Build says 245. I don't know why. But yeah, no. Yeah, dude, that's a monster. What? Always putting me in the ring with monsters, and I somehow am able to get them to do what they're supposed to do. It's wild. I love my shirt. I love my job. It's great. But it doesn't negate the fear factor of those. That's a big dude who could probably throw me into the third row.
Now you're talking about Eddie or Gideon? Who could
I
throw
mean,
you into the row?
Eddie's a strong guy too. He's just not as tall as Gideon. That's the only difference. Either one of them probably could pick me up over the. You could probably get me into the first row, at least to the guard row. It didn't take much. I'm a feather.
And here's the crazy thing about Gideon. He's not even focused on Eddie.
No, he's not. He's focused on that guy right behind you. 1,000,000%. Like, he is so dialed in. When he sees Eddie, he sees Damian Morte. When he sees you in the ring, that's all he sees is Damian Morte in that world title. That's scary.
And he gets that title shot at Thirst for Gold, April 19th.
That is going to be a battle.
I don't know any of the card for Defying the Odds, which is March 15th.
No, I don't know either.
Anyone going against Gideon, if he's booked, I feel sorry for, because he's just going to be starving just that little bit more for that title. He's going to be focusing in just a little bit more on Damian Morte. And he's going to be making an example of whoever he goes against.
Oh, yeah. But if Damian competes, he's going to have to do the same. He's going to have to come with that same energy, that same intensity. He's got to. Plain and simple. Because and this is no shade to the next person I'm about to mention, unlike Sika, Gideon's not the same. Which, of course, I'm leading into our next match, which was Morte versus Sika. Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, Eddie's not the same as Damian.
No.
They got two different opponent styles, both with, like, things they need to, I wouldn't say hone their skills on, as much as things that they have to always watch out for in opponents.
Damian's going to have to use his agility and speed for sure come April, plain and simple. He's going to have to be faster. He's going to have to hit quicker. Because if Gideon gets you and he gets a hold of you, I mean, we saw how hard he hit Eddie. And Eddie's a big dude.
All right. But we're also making the assumption that come April 19th, Damian Morte is still champion. We'd still have Defying the Odds. He could lose it then, and all Gideon's focus could be for nothing.
It could. Or he can channel it and turn it to somebody else. Either way, the next person in line's probably not going to have a great night.
No. And Damian defeated Montego Sika with a pedigree.
Yeah, after a little bit of shenanigans from Sika, I think he was going to try to suffocate him. He may have actually tried to, suffocate Morte. Like, what?
I forgot about the bag.
There's two of them. How do you get the second one is my question. Where'd it come from? I checked him. I watched him grab the first. I was like, what are you doing? Don't do that. What? Hey, no. Don't. No. Stop. No. Give me that. I don't know where to. Screw it. Yeah, no. I think he was really going to choke him out with the bag. I really do. And that's crazy. It's crazy. But Sika is from that other side of the street. So, I mean,
Hey, let's just be glad he wasn't like stabbing Morte with something, like
Hey,
Hangman did Swerve.
I heard a rumor that his outfit used to be white. I don't know how true it is, but it was red that night. So I don't know.
Well, Sika also had a orange one at one point. I think it depends on which prison he just got out of.
Or it just got darker from other things.
All right, and then we had the jewel of the night. We had the tag team turmoil.
Which I want to say had more shenanigans than anything I've ever seen, but they weren't shenanigans. Like I had to go back. I checked some bylaws. I read up on some rules, and God's Work played a lot of legal loophole that night. A lot of loophole. And
I mean, here's the issue I see with that. And like Burnham pointed out, it said 2 members of God's Work. It didn't say which 2 members.
that's exactly how it was written out.
It's a gauntlet match. You don't really start a new match each time someone's eliminated. I mean, you do, but you don't. So there's where the shenanigans came in. Like, I shouldn't have been ringing the bell like I was instructed to. Like, you kept calling for me to ring the bell. It should have just happened. But at that same time, like, they shouldn't have been switching out like they were because it was all one continual match. And they should not have been able to switch.
Yes and no, but where that, like I said, where I went and looked, it was because the law of substitution and the fact that the way the match was written out and the contracts were signed, it was signed as God's work and not each or 2 specific members. That's where they got away with the bylaw and getting the loophole in. So after every pinfall or submission, they were able to substitute because of that, regardless of the match itself or the stipulation of it being a gauntlet, so to speak.
Look at you sounding smart with law of substitution, which I'm pretty sure is not the actual terminology for that.
Well, it's working right now, Johnny, so just go with it. I don't have the book in front of me right now. It's at the office.
So the first 2 pairings was the Santa Pro Wrestling versus God's Work, and it was Page and Ozzy starting that one out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
I feel like if we're going to talk about any type of a shenanigan, that would be the one true shenanigan of the. Did we not see the Cross of Doom?
the Cross of Doom.
The man went like this.
Oh, I see what you did. Yeah, no, that is big shenanigans there. But there is nothing against the rules against that.
It's not. I didn't even know what to do when it happened. I was just like, am I supposed to actually count this pin right now? I guess so. Okay. Sure. I mean, hey, this y'all cereal. I don't pour milk. There you go.
Here's the thing. I don't know what's going on with the Saints, what they're getting out of this. But they're getting something out of this, and it's not just reuniting with Page.
All I know is they were initially a part of God's work, and they've come home, so to speak. So that's a whole different story to be figured out, because I don't know if anybody knows what's going on. I've been told nothing from no one.
Father Page knows what's going on.
He tells me.
And we'll just have to wait and find out.
Just have to wait and find out, people. We're just going to have to wait and find out.
So the third team out was the Crash Bros, which is Badger James and Trench Blythe.
Yep.
And this is where some of those shenanigans came in. It went from Ozzy teaming with Page to Bishop Simon teaming with Page. And God's work prevailed.
They did. Yes, they did. Like I said, I was 100% thrown off when it started happening. I looked over at the commissioner. He gave me the nod. So in my head, I was like, all right, I'll check it out later. We're going to run it. So the substitution was made. And like I said, they won that round of the matches. So they got to advance. The next team came out. And I feel like that's when it finally like truly picked up. Like it really started to get exciting a little bit. I don't know if it's because the energy Trap has or just the energy that the crowd gives them. One of the two. I probably a mixture of both, honestly. What an upset.
Oh yeah, definitely. And so I think that actually made that made Trap the EPW champions for just a little bit, in a way.
You know, I'm still looking into how that specifically is going with the title changing. I don't know yet if it will go down as a reign, so to speak, because of it being a continuous match. And the last, I think, think about it more of like a ladder match, Money in the Bank, whatever. The titles are here. The last team is the one who gets it. Doesn't matter who the team is. So I don't think the titles actually change hands until the last team is eliminated. But regardless, when you're the champion and you lose halfway through, you're done. There's a guaranteed new tag team champions crown. So
Yeah.
God was working that night.
And Ruby was excited that they got that pin, but International Fight Club came out and took that away from them.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Picking up their first pinfall victory. So quote unquote. That was a good spat between them. There was a lot of fast pace, a lot of stuff going on.
And something you missed was Mercer, Logan Marquez, and then Step Stool Tommy D attacking him, which is what cost them the match.
Me and Tommy gonna have some problems. Yep.
I mean, you might be able to see eye to eye with him.
Well, no, I mountain him, so it's one of the few people. I feel good about it. Sorry, Tommy. So you had a step stool. Love you though. But yeah, no, Tommy, you're driving me crazy. Regardless, I don't think it was needed, but IFC got the win there. They were able to advance to face the psychotic messengers, the three gentlemen you have behind you. Just move your head this way a little bit. That man's scary.
I was completely blocking Lucian.
Completely blocking Lucian. You got to give him his credit. There he is. All right. He's back.
Yeah, and this is kind of becoming a bit of a rivalry between them.
I feel like
in the last 3 months, IFC and Messengers have gone at it in some form of fashion.
I have to go back and check my notes, but I believe you are absolutely accurate on that.
Well, I know last month it was a tag match, one team versus one team.
Yep.
Messengers came out on top. The month before that, I think it was a triple threat, and the Messengers stole the win.
And I could be misspeaking, but I don't think Empire is the only place where they fought either. I think they may have gotten their hands on each other somewhere else too. So there's some history built here. Excuse me. Yeah, I like seeing these two teams compete. because you know it's going to be physical. Messengers are physical, Tank's extremely physical, and you got a Scottishman who does nothing but love to fight, and then you've got a mad technician. So I enjoy seeing them compete, both teams. But when it comes down to brass tacks, the Messengers aren't a new team. They're seasoned. They know how to work it. They've been doing this. That's why they're the new tag team champions.
Exactly. And with Lucian with them, he's going to give them that edge, along with having Jack Talos, who wasn't there that night, but...
No, he was not, but he is regardless if he's there or not, you really don't know. He could be somewhere. Just because he's 7 foot tall doesn't mean he can't hide. Doesn't mean he can't be not seen. Don't let height distract you from who they are and what they represent.
Well, not only that, but like the EPW ballroom, there's plenty of places to hide. And there's plenty of areas where you can go.
It's a whole hotel connected to this place. So he could be upstairs waiting for a cue. Next thing you know, he's in the ring choke slamming people. And just like I said, I'm a feather. I've been lifted by Jack.
Which something you overlooked when you were talking, and I had myself on mute because of some sirens. I don't know if it was some cue or what, but Gatekeeper came back and attacked the Messengers, trying to cost them the match.
That explains a lot, because all I saw was Gatekeeper taking Mercer's arm and putting it over Malachi. And I didn't see him do anything. All I saw him do was that, and I was just like, what is going on? That's a pinfall. I got to count the pin. He kicked out, but it was still very confusing. So that insight is very lovely, because I turn around to, like you said, the cowboy, and it was pretty intimidating. Like I said, either way, Gatekeeper's not one to be messed with, and there's history there, obviously. So he was there to make a statement, and the statement was made. Everyone saw it.
Explain to everybody in your ref brain, when you see two people pretty much down, what goes on there besides confusion? Like,
it's me trying to figure out if do I call it? Is there a disqualification? Do I make the pinfall? I saw no one get attacked. There's someone in the ring, but he hasn't physically assaulted anybody. I can only call what my eyes see. Plain and simple. That's as it is written, so shall it be done. Like, until something's changed, I have to do exactly what the rules state.
And ladies and gentlemen, next month we'll have a donation to get Ref Danny some glasses and his eyes checked out.
Put some mirrors up, that would be great. Get rid of everybody by ringside, including that camera guy who's always in the way in the corner wearing the purple shirt.
All right. That concluded Broken Dreams, and what a heck of a night that was.
There's a lot of broken dreams.
Our next event is March 15th. EPW Ballroom, 6200 North Robinson Avenue, and it is Defying the Odds. And I can't wait, because it's going to be awesome. And then after that, we have Heath, formerly known as Heath Slater, from the WWE and TNA, who will be joining us April 19th at Thirst for Gold.
Don't he have kids?
He does.
That's right.
Which, by the time this goes out, tickets should be available for both events over at Ticketstorm.com.
Don't miss either one of them. I'll know. I will.
Indeed. So, with that, we bid you adieu and good night.